Hi, I'm George, the Weather Dad, to close out 2025 and ring in 2026. So, are we going to end the year on a cold note and start on a cold note? I think that's pretty much going to be the case. Not much snow, though, for the Midwest. The action is going to be out in the West Coast. All right, let's take a look at your temperatures here on our Wednesday. You can see temperatures, again, pretty close to normal or below normal across most of the country. Yellow represents normal. Very cold up to the north, but you see the purple, that's really some really Arctic sub-zero temperatures. That's pretty much going to stay up to the north, even though we are going to be below normal here in the Ohio Valley. Thursday, not much change there. In fact, that cool temperatures stretch all the way down into the Gulf Coast. By Friday, not much change. You're starting to see a little bit of a warm up there in the southern plains around Texas, Louisiana, Arkansas, but you can still see pretty cold up to the north across the northern tier states, and temperatures slightly below normal right here in the Ohio Valley. Now, as we work our way on into your Saturday, temperatures modify just a little bit, not much. Normal high temperature right now, 40 degrees for the afternoon high. Now, that's going to drop 1 or 2 degrees for the next couple of weeks. By about mid-January, the normal highs start raising, but we're going to see cold temperatures again across most of the area. Sunday, still pretty much the same, maybe a few degrees warmer right here in the Ohio Valley. Notice a little bit of a warm up along the Gulf Coast. And then a sneak preview on into next week shows temperatures modifying a little bit more. We may get back into the 40s, 50s maybe by the middle of next week. We'll kind of have to wait and see on that. Precipitation, really not much going on unless you're along the west coast. You can kind of see another storm system popping its way in there, but lake effect snows across the Great Lakes region and some snow up into New England. But other than that, pretty quiet there on your Wednesday. Thursday, not much change. Again, the Rockies and the west coast getting all the action. Lake effect snow still underway up into the Great Lakes region. Friday, well, we have a little bit of energy scooting across the Tennessee Valley, but other than that, right here in the Ohio Valley, still pretty quiet, again, with the exception of the West Coast. As we head on into your weekend, dry across the area, southeast gets a little bit more in the way of rain, but more rain out into the West Coast. And then by Sunday, still pretty quiet across most of the country, actually. If you're going to be doing some traveling, not much really going on. Some snow in the up in the higher plains. And of course, again, the West Coast getting hit once again as well. And then on into next week, there's another bit of energy working its way into the West Coast. Still pretty dry across most of the country. So the bottom line is we are going to end 2025 on a cold note, and we're going to start 2026 on the same note. Temperatures below normal, but it's going to be fairly dry. So I don't really see any major winter storms for the Midwest for the next week or so. I'm George, the Weather Dad.